Hello, welcome everybody. This is the Q&A for Kernowcraft. There was an amazing amount of questions, so thank you for that. Feel very honoured that you've actually joined in. I've got a load of questions and it's already been taken out the drawer, the name of the winner. And I'm not going to reveal the winner to you just at the moment. I'm just going to go through a few of the questions and I'll answer them. So the first question was from Sally Castlake. Right, what's the best way to protect a stone when doing the final polish after setting? What I do is put my thumb over it. So that's what I would do. For you, maybe some masking tape. Just put a little dot of masking tape over there and you'll be fine. If you've already read my book, you'll know about the Mohs scale. So the metal is usually softer than the stone. So no worries about that one. Looney Jewellery. If you only have one piece of equipment for polishing, would it be a tumbler, pendant motor, polishing papers, cloths, elbow grease? Obviously, I'm going to say elbow grease. There's no shortcut for the perfect finish. You go all the way through your papers. And I remember a question, what would be the best grit that I would stop at before I start polishing? Around 3000 would be a good one for you to stop and then get on with the polishing. You can get rid of most marks. If you do not do it properly, then you'll have the story of your file marks. So you'll get the deep file marks, then the lighter file marks. So try and get rid of to the very, very depth of your coarsest file mark. Okay, so another one, I'll just give you a bit of a bonus on this one for you. What I do with a tumbler, I use it to my advantage. So I do a bit of polishing. Ideally, I actually would use it on the buffing machine. I don't tend to use a flexi drive so much, but I understand quite a lot of people will have just a flexi drive and not a big buffing machine. So do as much as you can with the brushes. The little black brushes, and your go-to compound would be the brown one, whatever you like to use, Eco, whatever. I use Tripoli. As the Manzana and all the other ones, there's all sorts, there's so many. Go and read my book, all right? That's the only way. So anyway, do your polishing to the very minimum and then chuck it in the barrel. It's all about viability. Do you want to spend hours polishing on something that you're going to get perhaps £5 for? So you can't charge, too much for polishing. And that's what I've been fighting against all my life. If it's silver and it's just a pair of earrings, just get rid of your marks, do it, and then put it in the barrel polisher. And don't forget, the barrel polisher will not remove marks. It only burnishes. So if you've got a file mark in there, it's going to make it shiny. Another thing with the barrel polisher is that you don't leave it in long enough. I know you don't leave it in long enough. You need to leave it in. If it's light, like a pair of earrings or something like that, you can leave 4 hours, clean the liquid when it goes dark grey, put some more Barrel Bright powder in, carry on for another 4 hours. You will be absolutely amazed at the finish that you can achieve. Right, and don't stop there. Get some rouge on a reflex mop, the white soft mop, whatever you want to use, your flexi drive, do it on that, okay? Just shine it up on that. When you look at something, you will know it's been barreled. So go from there, okay? What are your go-to finishing grit polish? Right, I use the black brushing emery. This will remove your fire, all right? Gets rid of the fire. Then we go to the brown bar, Tripoli. I use Tripoli. And then you use that with the cream mop. Your cream mop, whatever you want to use, on your flexi drive or on a big one. I use, my favourite mop is like a B Calico, so it's quite a stiff sort of mop, not too big. I only ever go, well, I'm going to say inches. Most people know about the inches. It's 4 inches by ½ inch, so that's 102 to you, that size. And I use the Tripoli with that one. Get your marks out, you clean it in the Ultrasonic, and then you put a soft mop on with reflex mop. That's the white mop. You can use Swan's Down, bit wishy-washy for me. Then use rouge. Then clean the job. Now this is ultra special for you. Special, you might even know. Manzana 175 M5. Absolutely mind-blowing, okay? Mind-blowing. You cannot believe how good it really is. I don't get paid for anything to do with Mizuno, so please, it's just my advice to you personally. Next one. How do you polish very intricate designs? I struggle to get into the tight corners and crevices. This is from Laura Flips. It's all to do with preparation, and if you read my book, very first chapter, well maybe not the first chapter, second chapter I think, it's all about preparation. So when you do a design, you actually got to think of these things, what's going to happen later on. And at times I've seen something which has become impossible to get a polish. With that in mind, plan. So before you put that wire on, polish. Then put the wire on, then tidy up. Now, most people try and sort of quick cheat. You know, you're not going to put it in a barrel. It's not going to get away with a barrel on that one, because you've got a little wire, there's that tight corner which the barrel will not sort out for you, because the ball will run off the wire and just miss that little bit. Now, what I like to do is I use these little brass brushes, well, I call them scratch brushes. And say it's been through the fire, done all your heating up and everything, and there's like maybe a texture on it or something like that. And you would get some fairy liquid, use some water, make it into, anyway, as if you're going to wash up, right? So get your job, dip it in the liquid, get your brass brush, and then go over the top, straight over the top, and then what it does, it gets into those nooks and crannies. So when you do your final polish, those nooks and crannies will be pretty clean. So normally we're talking about like little bobbles on things, like little pimples. When you do that texture, you polish this with another thing that I like to use is I call them a frosting brush. This is one of my go-to things. Everybody's a bit scared of them. They won't hurt you. As, I haven't got it here because I'm going to go to Halifax tomorrow. But there's a green one that's super aggressive. That's actually really brilliant for doing wedding ring textures. Because guys, I don't know if you know, but guys don't like shiny wedding rings. They like more matte sort of things. They don't need to be too blingy. So I use the green one, green frosting brush like that, to give you like a texture. And then there's a red one, which is a medium. So the yellow one is the finest, then you go red, then you go green. Green one. Now, whatever you do, you must wear goggles. Got to wear eye protection, because these things, if you press too hard, they pop off. I don't want to hurt your eyes. It won't hurt your fingers, but your eye. Oh my God, I can't believe it. The damage that it would do. So please be very careful. These are what I use instead of a brass brush. I actually go into the nooks and crannies, just get it all cleaned up, and then I just do my polishing as normal. So hopefully I've answered that one. If there's anything else, you know, the book. You do know that I went down to Cornwall and I actually signed this book, and I hope that some of you might buy those books and then share them on Instagram or Facebook with my special signature to you, because you'll be hard pushed to find one the same. I try and think of different little sayings for you in the book, so they're not all the same. Even though it's not got your name in it, it has got a special message for you. One of my ones is shine bright like a diamond. That's one of my ones. It's not all about bright and shiny. Another one. So anyway, get the book from Kernowcraft and you'll find your special message. Show it on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or whatever you want. Right, next question. Yeah, right. This one is Gem Heaven. What's the best way to polish the highlights but to leave the lowlights with the patina? Right, what I tend to do is I do all my prep. So I do all my polishing, then clean it. The very minimum you would need would be the black bar, triple E. Don't go no further than that. You don't need to go no further. So you do that. You've got a perfect ring. Then clean it, heat it up. Maybe what I do, I tend to put some boiling water over the top, so you get a pair of tweezers or maybe a little wire, and then you drop it in the oxidizing solution. When it's all black, then I go to something like a Bing mop, which is the cream mop. It's quite firm. You could use a felt as well, like the flat felts on the flexi drive, and just go over the edges, over the top of those beads, and it just leaves the back black and the top bright. Another one, which is from one of my friends, actually, my friend Susan Chapman. She was doing a chain and she oxidized it, and then all the polishing she could do, she never actually could remove it. So contacted me, what do I do? I get this all the time. So what I do, I get my thumb into some wet pumice. So I'll get my pumice wet, put it in some pumice, and I'll give it a rub on the chain, and then I'll wipe off all the black so it goes, and then I'll put it into the barrel. So that's it. So you're using the barrel. Now you put it in the barrel for 15 minutes. So we're moving on now. So when I'm talking about usually we talk about a lot of barrel stuff, I know. Now, people don't like barrel polishing, you don't like that finish. Well, in my book, I say take your pins out. Take all your pins out. Those pins are designed to get into the very tightest spots. But if you look at those pins, they are sharp. So if you've got a piece which is like, say a sphere, and you chuck it into a barrel, what's going to happen? All little dots. Take your pins out, you've got no more dots. That's another problem that everybody keeps on having. These little pins, they do it. And make sure you use the barrel bright powder. I never use fairy liquid, quite honestly. I find it not very useful. Use the barrel bright. There might be other makes available, but the powder for barrel polishing, put a little teaspoon in, and you graduate. So this barrel here, I've got it's a bit manky. Right, here, look. Can you see it? See how much? So it's got about that much liquid in it. The ball's at the bottom. When I do the second time, I put more liquid in. So I fill it, put the job in. And another problem you have is once you put it into there, how do you find all your jewellery? You put it into a nylon sieve, the ones you go down buy, for the kitchen. Pour it in there. You'll easily find all your bits. That's another question done. There's lots of questions. I've not even revealed the winner yet, have I? I mean, I'm going to go on and on and on. Right, how do you stop chains getting snagged and knotted? Right, this is Lib and Leo actually. Page 17. There's loads and loads about barrel polishing, magnetic polishing and everything. And look, see there? Look, see that? Can you see that? This is what I do, right? What I do, I'll get a chain and I'll get a stiff wire. Maybe like coat hanger. That sort of thickness. I connect one end, then I connect the other. And it might be 3 or 4 rows. And then, so it's fairly stiff. And then I put it into the barrel. This one on that page was the magnetic barrel, but I would normally, even with my copper wire, the copper wire I use for plating, I would tie up the two ends, so bolt ring, jump ring, tie them up, join them up, and then put it into the barrel. You can end up with an ugly mess. Oh, it's so bad. But my jewellery friends actually like untangling chain. One of my friends, Theo Fennell actually, he loves give me the tangled chain. Tumble polishers, barrel polishers, they will love to tangle chains. So try and do your best. It's, it's a risk, but actually it's something which is very therapeutic. Removing tangled chain, undoing it. Can you understand that? You chuck it in your jewellery box or whatever, it comes out and it's all tangled up anyway. So I hope that's answered that for you. Well, I can't believe the questions, and I'm trying my best to get through. Right, stone and metal artisan jewellery. What's the best way to polish out fire scale or fire stain, and which prevention methods works best? when you're doing your obviously your soldering and everything like that, the more you solder, the more fire stain comes to the surface, and I call this the curse of the silver polisher. Oh, it's the copper coming to the surface, because silver's got a bit of alloy in it of copper, comes to the surface. Now, the more times you solder, the more fire you get. So, comes to me, the polisher, covered in fire, what do? So, there's no shortcut with any of this, but I call it polishing by numbers. If you can break that fire, that pink, just by a little bit, and you go huff on it, and you can see, eventually you'll see the break. When you see the break, then you work out from that little, it's a bright hole. It's absolutely amazing. It's polishing by numbers. You remove the fire stain, and underneath is this clear mirror white silver underneath. It's very, very, very good. So, and I'll tell you what the compound I use brushing emery compound. It's the black bar, but beware, it's very aggressive. So if you're using that too much, what happens is those brushes will start to eat into the silver and give you those lines. Okay, so don't do it too much. Make sure that you cross, go one way, go this way, go that way, go this way, keep doing this, keep doing that, and eventually the fire will go, and then you can clean it. I would clean it, because basically what happens is that emery compound, it's very aggressive. It's like pumice powder actually. It's pumice powder in a bar. So wash it in your ultrasonic, or if not, leave it in some soapy liquid for an hour, let it dissolve, and then give it a wash just like you do washing up. Don't put it in dishwasher. Dishwashers have got salt in them, so salt and silver do not get on. You get little black dots. Hopefully that page 17 will answer all your questions. If there's any more I can do quickly, I'll give you a little hint, right? I see a lot of people, when they're using the ultrasonic, they leave all the work just resting on the bottom. So what happens is, it then wears the bottom of your ultrasonic out. They're very expensive, you know. And what's happening is that bottom of that metal will rub against your jewellery, I don't care whether it's a stone or what, and eventually will give you like a frosted effect. Now, I don't know if some of you have actually seen this. When you put it into your ultrasonic, and if you leave it in too long, you'll get this like etched effect. You've left it in too long, but also what's happened is that your solution is too dirty. Can you imagine putting your lovely clean jewellery into dirty solution? So you've got all the emery compound, you've got all the other compounds you've put in, and then you go and put your finished piece that is so blingy, you put it into the ultrasonic and it comes out, it's all frosted. Disaster, darling. Okay? So what I love to do, I don't put no baskets, so I don't do that. I put like a stiff wire across the top of the ultrasonic, just a stiff wire. And then I dangle my jewellery. So put little S-shaped pieces of wire and hang your jewellery into the ultrasonic. There's no better way, honestly. And one warning, do not stick your fingers in the ultrasonic while it's agitating. It actually attacks your bone marrow. It's a bit like a microwave where it just gets in there. So it gets all in there, and eventually, get to my age, I'm 66, right? I'm okay, I'm good, look, I'm good. Still got my fingers as well. But for people who have not done what I say, they will get arthritis in their fingers. You know, you can get arthritis when you get old anyway, like me, but it doesn't help sticking your fingers in the ultrasonic. Some people say, oh, that's my lot, I'm never going to get clean fingernails. Use a brush on your fingernails. That's what I do. I'm going to give a couple of random answers for you, because if anybody knows me, I'm a bit like a butterfly. How do I keep my hands so clean? O'Keeffe's Working Hands. I don't get any money for this, okay? I'm not being sponsored by anybody. Now, I put this on, it's like a barrier cream. I rub it all over my hands, and then I polish. And then what happens is that the polish, all your dirt and everything, does not grip to your fingers. It might look like they're dirty. It washes off easily. And at the end of the day, use some moisturising cream on your hands. Look after your hands, are the most important thing you've got. Eyes, hands. Don't forget, eyes, hands, very important. Protect them. I still don't use one of those, what I call the Cyclops, the close-up. I don't need them. Look at that, my eyes are perfect. I do use a loupe just to check my work. Anyway, working hands, and you'll all come back and say, I use this one, I use that one. Well, I use working hands. Well, you know, I was telling you about the brass brushes. Look, these are little brass brushes. They're very, very nice. And they get all in the background, all your patterns and everything with some fairy liquid. Get in there, shine up the background, then shine up the top. Because you'll never get in there with, say, a mop like that. You're never going to get in your nooks and crannies with that. You need to think about what you're doing. You want to go into a tight area, you don't use one of those, do you? You use one of those. And these are available in brass, black bristle, mixed bristle, and a goat hair, and there's a nylon one, which I don't actually think much of, but that's for your choice. So this one gets you started. I quite like these. These are called flap wheels, and they give you this sort of even sort of satin finish. In the old days, there would be Scotch Brite leaves just almost put together with a collar, and then there'll be flaps. And then when you do the satin finish, what you would do, you'd get these lines, and you can't, so you have to go like this to get rid of them. They're a disaster, darling. These now, the new flap wheels, all various grades. This is a grey one. So this is a quite super fine one. There's a red one, which is I quite like, and there's a super aggressive ones, which will give you quick. So you've like come from the casters. Usually the caster will put it into the magnetic polisher and give it like a little shining and give it to you. But if you know there's that furriness on the shank, you can get some of these aggressive ones, and it'll save you a bit of filing. It's like a linisher in a way, and it linishes it down, so it makes it a smooth area. Then you work down with your buff sticks. Just gives you a quick head start, just give you a quick one. And that's what we do normally, is before, when it comes back from the caster, we would normally give it to the polisher just to go over lightly, maybe with one of these, or with a scratch brush, or put it into the barrel, or whatever. And when it comes out, we can find the cast hole, so you can actually see where the predicted problems could be for you. I hope that's helped you. Or I was told to limit each question to a minute. I've gone on far too long, and I know Hannah has got a nightmare. So anyway, I'm going to reveal the winner, and it was mixed up, and it's congratulations to Lib and Leo Jewellery. Now that question was, in the barrel, how do you stop chains getting snagged and knotted? So congratulations, and you're going to get a signed book. For all the people that didn't get in so well, you know what I'm saying. The book's available from Kernowcraft with my special signature for when I visited them last week down in Cornwall. So it's in there, special message for you. I will continue to answer the questions. I've got 68 questions in all there. I will continue to answer maybe more informally. Congratulations to Lib and Leo. Bye.